Universal Underground, welcome to it, man. Another epic jam session of the hottest house music podcast is just about to kick off, and we're hanging out today with superstar beat breaker Tekniq, hailing all the way from Mamelodi. How about you take center stage, my brother, and let everybody know who Tekniq is?
How's it, everyone? It's your boy Tekniq from Mamelodi, Mfana Pitori, original beat breaker. Anyways, this is me. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for hosting me, man.
My brother, we're going to discuss all things house music. We can't wait to hear about your journey in music. We know you're doing amazing things, but the story always begins somewhere, and that's what this is all about, man.
For sure.
How about you take center stage also? Let us know who was Tekniq before Atomo Dalaka press play, Akotla the Cubase. Who was Tekniq, man?
Well, everybody knew me as Thabang Mtuli.
Yeah.
So just had a passion for DJing, and through the journey of just interacting with different DJs and learning the craft itself, I found myself playing around with the software, Fruity Loops and whatnot, and that's where the passion of making music came in.
And then before Oka who Mingila, you know, obviously you still going to school, you know, okay, let's the guy, you know. Your childhood, man. Did you play any sports? Like, what were you doing before God decided?
The origin, Genesis.
We want, that's what we want. That guy.
Genesis.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, Thabang Tuli from Moms. Just grew up in Mamelodi.
Yeah.
When was primary? When was high school? I even forgot the school.
Okay, let's guide you. Where was primary? Where did you go to primary school?
Primary was in Littleton Manor. Was it Littleton?
Yeah.
I went to a primary school called Flien.
Sure.
Right after Mandela was released.
Yeah.
Oh, my man.
And then where did you finish your schooling career, like high school wise?
I finished my high school career, my high school tenure at Princess Park.
Yeah.
And it was a school situated in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then growing up in those spaces, what were your earliest music memories in music? You know, do you remember speaking to someone about your Arukwela CD, or should we go to a gig? You know, what becomes your early memories of music in the midst of you going to school? In between, where does it start? Which year is it?
The thing is about having passion in music is you hardly remember the earlier stages of how it started. You just remember yourself as loving music from the beginning itself, you know. But I remember going to the local pubs, you know, sneaking my way out of home, going to the local pubs, you know, and just being that bottle boy, whatever small job you could get at the pub, just cleaning the speakers and whatnot. Yeah, I remember there was a club. Yeah, I did that. There was a club called Motswala.
Yeah.
So I used to know a guy there, Motswala. So every Friday they would call the DJ. Who are these DJ? His name is gonna come around in my head. But that's when we feeling about Rala and everybody else when they were still playing vinyl. So
and Mums was a party hard.
Mums has always been.
Yeah.
So when I was at Bacardi and Deep House was just coming into the scene. I remember Abu Fresh and Feasters were new into the scene. So we'd go to the club, especially on Fridays and weekends, and we'd offer to wash cars and just be the boys who hang around there. And then I would see them plugging in the vinyl at that time and plugging in the sound. I'm like, yo.
At the Motswala pub place that you had. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're about to rock. What's going to happen? I literally have an experience of when events were being planned. How events were planned at clubs. Yeah.
And then when this is happening, are you still in school?
I'm still in school.
I'm
still in school. When it's the weekend, we'd just run to Motswala pub and just try to fit into that space. We were the youngest kids. Go buy ice, go do that. So inside that space, you find yourself mingling with a lot of producers at that time. You're mingling with a lot of DJs, mingling with a lot of club owners, and you know,
you're just in the space.
You're just in that space, and that's where the passion starts to grow. And you're like, you know what, I'd love to find myself in there. So I remember this one night, they had T-Boss from YFM. I think he was a guest DJ there. I think he came with
and YFM was big in those days.
You know,
Yeah,
I think Monde was there. It was a big with this big white fresh tent.
Yeah, I'm the legend. Rest in peace, the late Monday. Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I'm definitely coming to this event.
Yeah.
It's funny when I remember the flyer thing. One of them might be to like something from a newspaper or so.
Yeah.
But anyways, we squeezed ourselves into that event, and I remember just seeing the guys jamming a final, man. And I fell in love, bro.
You were hooked. There was no turning back from
while
that.
They were just changing the playlist, and I was like, wow, this is an art.
So now you are washing cars, but you obviously experiencing this, and obviously you're speaking about YFM DJs. YFM was so big in the days, you know, and a combination of YFM DJs and Mamelodi back then. Mamelodi was one of the most dangerous places you could go, you know. So how did you make it work? Like, you want to see these guys, you're so crazy about music, there's that risk about Mamelodi, you know, kids are being kidnapped, you know, people are getting murdered. Like, it's not a nice story to tell, but it's the history of how everything comes from, you know what I mean? How did you find yourself moving and maneuvering yourself in that space and yet still find time to do school, time to do music, and time to do the hustle, whatever it be? And still have time to be a steel boy and still do that, you know? Like, how did that happen? Like what?
You raised a very valid point, because a lot of people who, especially the new cats in the game from Mamelodi, they don't know how we had to maneuver around being safe around the nightlife, especially in Mamelodi, where
no car, no transport, nothing.
My man, and the crime there was very rife. Anything could happen, and you could find yourself in the midst of a gun shootout or whatever, or drive through.
So how did you make that like work for Tekniq? Because clearly you didn't do this once. You've been doing this. How did you make it work for you?
I think the smartest thing we did as one of the boys is wash cars for the right guys.
Oh, mfana mama.
You know, if you wash cars for the right guys and they see you hang around the right guys, you know, you could at least avoid a bit of some trouble.
We've established Turnonale backup. It's fine. You know? It is what it is. All right, so now all of this is done, obviously. Fast forward, you're interested in music.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, how do you then find yourself in music production, in DJ spaces? How does it then come to life?
Then I came to a point where I think I figured out this is what I want to do. Like, I always tell people that I wanted to become a music producer and a DJ from a young age. I didn't go through a phase of, I want to be a doctor and this. I knew
already knew.
I was like, this is what I want to do.
That's all a top dog.
Man, come on. You know, for me, it was more of like a calling. So I decided, me and my friends decided, you know what, let's go find a resident spot to DJ at.
Your friends, who's this? Who's your friends?
My boys, Katleho, Byron Leroy, Frank. We used to call him Frankenstyles. So we were a group of 4. So we called ourselves Gemini Boys. You know?
I'm glad you brought that up.
For sure. That's where we're going, you know? So we decided, no, let's find a residency spot, because that's where we're going to find the exposure that we need to actually expose our talent and play on a regular basis and practice and do. So we found Jack Buddha. Jack Buddha was at his, how can I put it? It was going to its peak when we came into the game, you know? So I remember when we went there, we were actually passing. We were going from Jack Buddha to Corner Couch, just hopping around the clubs and asking for an opportunity. So we went to Jack Buddha. His young brother called Rami was around there. We were like, you know what, we're looking for an opportunity. We're young boys from CSO and we just want to play. He's like, do you guys have your equipment? Like, yeah. He's like, go on, jump in. Just right there. It was sort of like
Did you have your equipment on the spot?
Yeah, we literally had our CDs, we had our bags, because we were playing with CDs.
So in the midst of you washing cars, doing school, doing that, you were still collecting music at the same time. Okay, now the story is coming together.
For sure.
So opportunity, you are equally as ready for that opportunity.
You know, present yourself.
Let's go.
All right. Jam. We went in there, we killed. So he's like, you know what, okay, boys, we like what you do. Tomorrow, come through. Fridays were one of the busiest days there. We came through. Next day, relax.
Why is it pay? You know, I always sit and listen to Chaima and everybody like, I'm feeling 900, and I'm like, dude, you are blessed. Hey, you are blessed. I'm about Bucket, yeah, stuff was also in
Hey, bro, we used to play Thursdays,
yeah,
Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
yeah.
To split 1,200 amongst us four.
And we still made it work.
We still made it. But it was a lot of money for a young boy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I remember stop asking mom for shelter's caftini
because you were doing that.
I was covered, you know.
So now how do you guys now move from introducing yourself at residency spots, and obviously now you want more because I also look at Buddha Fair.
You gotta grow from
You want more. So do you now navigate by looking for more opportunities, or do you then start fiddling with music to get a wider reach through music? Like what's the next move?
So Jake Buddha was a great opportunity for one to create a foundation and establish himself as a producer or a DJ.
Were you already making music?
That's when we started venturing into the Gemini Boys, the production crew. Because we used to be a DJ crew.
Yeah.
Then we started making music.
At the Jack Buddha era.
The Jack Buddha era. And so what we used to do is make music, go preview it at Jack Buddha. Make music. So every week we play a new song, and people would come through and be like, "Hey, Gipina Yamang," you know, and that's where
the break comes.
That's where
it's us,
you know. And the good thing about Jack Buddha at that point, when it reached its peak, that's when your Black Coffees and Fresh would frequent there on a weekly basis. So every week we'd burn our songs on a disc. As soon as Christos comes through, after he said, please listen to this. And that's where the name kind of came about.
Okay. So now you did this Jack Buddha stuff. You are obviously introducing you guys into music. You know, how long then does it take for you guys to sharpen your skill? And, you know, when you started to feel like, you know, I've done Gemini Boys, I've done everything with the guys. I now really feel like I'm at a point where my skill is at this point and I want to introduce Tekniq to the world. How does that happen?
So, right at the end of the Jack Buddha era, because I was one of the main producers in the group, Gemini.
Okay,
so I was the one who's always fascinated with these softwares, these samples, and anything that has to do with production. So I spend a lot of hours trying to figure out how these things work.
Sharpening the skill.
I'm sharpening the skill, and I'm becoming one of the main producers in the crew itself. So, of course, I had my side projects. You know, I'd make songs for Gemini Boys, and then I'm like, you know what, let me do something for Tekniq. Let me do a Tekniq remix on the side. Then I did a very... I did a bootleg remix of a song called Speed Up from a guy called Funk.
I remember
Funk Man, you remember Speed Up? It was a very popular song amongst the underground deep house scene. So that was a bootleg for me. I kind of bumped into the vocal somewhere there, and I did a chop and go remix there. I gave it out, and that song blew up. Who's this Tekniq boy? Then I started writing that way, you know. Then I started writing that way. Obviously, as you guys grow amongst the group or a band or whatever, each and every one of you have.
But it was a common decision that let's try out solo careers. It wasn't a fallout type.
No fights. That's the thing about us. We never had fights where we had to break off. The other one went this.
So which means it's okay for fans and myself to kind of hope that one day like a project.
You know, for sure.
All right, great. So now you've established yourself. You know you can make music. You know. How do you then now decide that, you know what, I'm taking this one step further. I'm going to make this thing professional. You know, I'm going to do my own engineering. How do you now find all the elements that comprise Tekniq to being the final product that he is right now? What did you do first? Did you decide, like, I'm going to study? What did you do?
So from there on, I figured out, all right, I do have the skill of operating these softwares to a certain extent, creating a song and it being played. But I kind of, in comparison with what was out there in the market, I could feel there's a big difference. I'm like, I have the skill. I kind of have the music knowledge, the musical knowledge to combine elements together and create a song. But there's this thing missing. There's this element, this quality, there's this finesse, this, you know, you know, the crispiness of the songs. There's just this final element that's lacking. That comes with people who are experienced and who are professionals within the game. So I figured out, you know what, then I have to literally look at this from a point of view of sharpening that skill through education.
Oh, okay.
That's when I figured out, you know what would be the best career course to take that would help me sharpen that skill and help me become the professional that I wanted to be.
Yeah, yeah.
At that point when I was looking for that, there were very few colleges offering sound engineering.
Yeah.
At that point, I remember saying to myself, which route, and there were no places or people to give you advice.
Yeah.
When you're a young upcoming producer, study this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you are also one of the victims who never had a mentor to say,
oh, for sure, yeah, do this.
You had to figure it out yourself.
Yes, I'm like, what am I going to study? Okay. Yeah. I enrolled at TUT for music, bachelor's of arts or something like that. And then that's when that was after matric. Yeah. I kind of was admitted to enrolled in TUT for marketing.
Okay, sure, yeah.
In the midst of studying marketing, I was like, this is not me.
Yeah.
I even told my parents, I'm like, so I'm not at home. But this is not what I want to do, you know?
All right,
so in the midst of that, I enrolled for Bachelor's of Arts in TUT. The one that's in main campus. And then while looking into the course itself, I realized, no, this is not teaching me what I want. This is not the technicalities that I want to learn. The mixing, the mastering, the post-production.
Oh, okay, yes.
This is just arts.
Yeah. So you wanted finer details in sound engineering? In
sound itself. Oh, I'm fascinated about sound and music. Yeah, that's all. I don't want to do art and whatnot.
So now where do you get this final ingredient, bro? You're not a guy.
I remember telling my dad that. He's like, hey, I don't know what I'm like, you know what? I'll find something. Let me look around.
Yeah.
Literally, after talking to my dad, taking a walk around Hatfield, I bump into MND.
What?
My mind is like, no, man. I always pass Tekniq and I saw this
What's
sound
going
engineering
on
somewhere, you know. And I literally just followed the route at Tekniq and I bumped into MND. I was like, you know what? Let me go in here and ask and inquire about the course itself.
And then
I got there. They told me what I wanted to hear. Literally, what I was looking for is what.
Okay, great. So now Tekniq is a professional engineer. Within his gala, you are qualified for this. Now we fast forward to how the brand becomes the competitive brand it is. You know, we remember for the longest of times you were charting all over track source. I think it was a couple of years. It's not even months. Also, number one spot as the number one best producer breaking beats in that era.
Yeah,
and my man, all your songs were everywhere. Like, when did you now get that particular formulas together and decide that this is the type of sound I'm running with?
Going for.
Because let us unite.
You know how I bumped into what they call the broken beat era.
Yeah.
It's people think I formulated that.
Yeah.
I remember one day sitting in the studio and listening to what's out there.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, how can I find my own niche and create what's not out there?
Yeah.
That's how I bumped into the sound broken beat.
Influenced by who?
You know, every sound that was out there, your Dennis Ferreras, your Quentin Harris, everybody was making music.
Yeah.
But I was like, how can I learn and steal elements from what is happening out there and infuse it in what makes me who I am?
You know?
I got that and I gave it a try.
Yeah.
You know, I remember making the first song.
Yeah.
And you know, the beats are going up there and there. I'm like, hey, this matter sounds a bit too confusing. You know? Yeah, because people will hear this, but they won't catch it because it's too busy. You know how broken.
And then how do you make you had clean sound, bro? You had clean broken beat sound.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why you were charting for so many years. You understand?
Yeah.
How did you actually now decide? Okay, fine. Yeah, you were trying it out, but then now decide because you went for it.
And, for sure.
And you ran for it for a while. In fact, you ran for it for so long that it became a birth of a whole new era of breaking beats, you know, introducing, you know, I started hearing a lot of your Louis Lunches through your type of sound. I started hearing a lot of your Calvin Follows through your sound. You know, I think we can as close, or rather we can get as close to saying it was giving birth to some of the new elements found in the Amapiano era.
For sure,
You know, so how did you feel, or rather how do you feel about you being part of that engineering movement that has led sound to where it is obviously with everything that you have sharpened to make Tekniq the person that he is.
Yeah. That that era of coming from that broken beat producer that I was labeled as. I've never necessarily labeled myself as a broken beat producer. That one was my title. Wood King of Broken Beats. I always say in every other interview that I've never labeled myself as that.
Yeah.
And still today, I don't. Yeah. And it's not that I don't appreciate that people see that in me.
Yeah.
It's just that I felt that this is gonna box me, and that's what they're gonna expect out of me.
And
look at the Tekniq that's making songs today, like Amasiko. It's a whole different guy. Because I listen to music from a objective point of view. I wanna create music that's relevant with what's happening today.
True.
I don't wanna become an artist that falls under a certain type of sound or genre. So that thing happened so fast, and I found myself being crowned as that. And in the midst of that happening, Amapiano was now just taking elements from what's going on in Broken Beats and creating its own new genre. You know.
Yes.
And I remember asking myself, I can go with this wave, I can flow with this wave. But
Tekniq again, his own direction.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take one of the biggest risks, and I'm aware that this is gonna help my career for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a risk of now trying to find another sound that resonates with who I am.
Yeah.
I think I did this, and everybody caught up to it.
So basically, it's a story of transitioning of times and not trying to be predictable.
Yes.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, dude, we love your sound. I know there's a lot of people who love Tekniq, and even though we have crowned you the king of broken beats, and you don't want it to crown now, Braga. All right, man. We've been checking out some of the things that you do when you are not Tekniq. What do you do for fun, my man? Where does Tawang go for a beer? Detox and shut down this whole music world. Because we all know at some point it just becomes a bit overwhelming. For sure. And you just want to take a step back and breathe a bit, not be in the dust, so that you can find your way through and obviously make the right move so that you don't get burned. Who's that guy when he's not making music?
Actually, you know that better because I spend most of my time with
studio-wise, yeah.
But otherwise, besides that, it's funny when I tell people that I'm actually an introvert. So my family knows that because I spend most of my time in my bedroom. When I was at home, I would
peace and quiet.
That's me. Just reading a book.
Do you know
I have a slight social anxiety, but I try to curb it. And people just see this, outspoken guy, sometimes shy, but I'm just more of a chilled back, my own space, my own time, reading a book, just doing nothing sometimes, and just.
And then the Tawan transforms and becomes the Tekniq.
Yeah, then
and
the night comes.
And then goes to the party scene, and now starts getting acknowledged by superstars like Black Coffee. Like, we had such a dope moment watching one of the biggest DJs in the world right now acknowledging you, putting you on his Spotify playlist. I remember you were playing at Deep in the City, and he just introduced you to the masses. The crowd went nuts. He was playing your song, man. Like, what was that feeling like? And, does that Tekniq become one with the people, one with the music when it happens? Or do you still become the reserved guy, or introvert, and still still be able to, accept the crowd for, appreciating you at the level that you are?
It's trying to find the balance in that, honestly. Being acknowledged by one of the, besides Black Coffee being one of the best producers and biggest DJs to hail from South Africa, I looked up to him from a very young age. Because when I was at Jack Buddha, he used to come through there a lot.
And kill it.
And jam his music. I know Black Coffee from when he was jamming his first album. Amarasi DJ 200, actually 100, So I used to look at him like this.
And now you're there,
and I
man.
his journey ever since then, from his music and his album. And I was like, I could see that this guy is one with music. He's not doing it to become the best. He loves what he does. And that's the energy I captured from him. And even how we started talking, me and Black Coffee talk about that. I I don't need Black Coffee, here's my song, play this. I talk about how much he loves what he does, and I'm inspired by that. That's how me and him have a conversation.
Dude,
and then
I can
from
even
there
see
on,
you're so passionate about it. Yeah,
you
like,
know,
yeah.
That's what I pick up from him. So to find myself in the midst of this guy who is a huge inspiration to most of us playing my music. It was quite overwhelming, but for me, it wasn't a surprise.
You had that moment.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to come eventually, because the journey this guy is taking and the journey I'm taking, they interlude somewhere in the future.
All right.
So,
So you have obviously established yourself. You've got quite an array of fans throughout the world, you know, since your Broken Beat era. And then now comes the birth of a whole new technique, and once again, surprise. You liberated us. You know, and you kept that album such a secret for so long, you know. We thought like some of the songs that you'd have in your EPs or Shapagazona, but you went the complete opposite direction. And, you know, looking at your growth from it, you're so calm, you know. I feel like you understand yourself so much, you know. You don't even hang out with us, you know, and it's that guy, you know. We want to know, you know, in terms of how you solidified this particular space that you are in, you know, being so at peace with your music, being at peace with yourself, and knowing to be content whether you're with your friends or not, or it's always love, man. Yeah. Tell us about that, dude.
That's a journey that kind of drops out of the music scene a bit and goes into my personal space. My life experiences, my spiritual self in a sense, you know. So obviously beyond Tekniq, there's me being a father, there's me being a friend to you, there's me being an uncle to my niece, and being a son to my mother and father. So all of those things is me trying to find balance. That's how I operate, and that's what Libra.
And that's how we introduce the sound.
Exactly. I try to find balance in everything. I don't want to overlap too much into being out there on the streets. I tell guys that there are times in which I get gigs and bookings and I feel like this. I just want to chill. I don't want to go anywhere. Literally, I've been out there for the past 4 weeks. This week I want to chill.
Relax.
And I sacrifice Zaka, but I'm like, I'll make Zaka, man. Zaka is always there. I just feel like my energy needs to relax a bit. I've been out there meeting a lot of people, and that's why I say I have a little bit of social anxiety. That becomes too much for me. I'm like, you know what? Let me take it back. Let me lay back. Let me be in my bed and read a book for this weekend, and let me switch off my phone. And you guys start calling me, and like, I don't agree. I'm like, that's where I'm taking my me time. And that's where all of that comes through. You know, I just try to find balance in how I.
So basically, your spiritual journey, your healing journey, and everything that comprises Thabang to be a sane person is basically explained into your new sound and what you're doing with it.
Sure.
Dude, you are recognized. We feel Tekniq. Like, we felt Tekniq, but no, raw feel. You know, the question then becomes, when did you feel that, you know, no Tekniq is really embraced by the industry, by the game? You know, people don't know that you've been in chats with some of the greats that you've been in chats with for the past whatever years that you've been doing music. But it seems like people think that this is only striking now, but we know Tekniq has been around. When did that feeling come about for you? Like, Rajo, no.
Now.
Ash,
my man.
Yeah.
It's so funny. One thing I realized about life is you cannot put a time on when things happen. You just do what you do and things will happen eventually, you know? So I've never looked at my career in a sense where this is my time, this is not my time. I just feel I'm in this space now. Let me do what I can do right now and see how it resonates with the world. That's how I've always taken my career. So when my music started playing internationally, Gabo Black Coffee and all that, I never went to a space of no, I'm like, that's what's happening right now.
Appreciating the era,
you know. That's the time. My music is what's happening in the world right now. So you know,
Like your level of humble, man. Like you know, and we need such energies, dude. I wish we had more time because I really want to speak about your journey in music as a lecturer. We know you are doing that, but you can maybe just quickly recap that. You know how that works with what you're doing in music. You know how you manage your schedule and still be able to have a social life and still be able to do that and you know have a normal sane being as Tabang outside of all of this, you know.
The lecturing part of me was I've always felt I wanted to give back.
Yeah,
I've always felt that as an individual, beyond even music, finding myself being a producer, finding myself being a musician and having the skills. I found that's the best platform for me to give back.
Yeah,
you know, that's why I did it. Not for the money, not for anything. I just love sharing my skill with individuals. That's where I spend my time, my spare time, teaching music production, teaching urban keys at multiracial here and there. And then,
we appreciate you so much, man, Mr. Tekniq. All right, just before we let you get onto the ones and twos, my man, just give us a quick recap in terms of, or rather not even a recap, prediction in terms of what Tekniq is going to be getting up to in the next 5-10 years. You know, are you going to eventually go executive, be a ghost producer? Are you ghost producing? You know, should we be looking forward to any unexpected projects since Libra is out? Any new exciting collaborations? Where's the land, dude?
Yo.
5-10 years later, we're expecting.
My man, music, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo, there's so much that's about to happen. I cannot even wrap it up in words.
Yeah.
From collaborations with big names, from working with international record labels. So it's already happening behind the scenes.
We know you, Radipi. We want to know. Give us two names that you've already worked with that is still coming.
I'd love to do that. It's just that I prefer to keep it on the down low. Well, the DJ Spoo collaboration, I was like, let me make that well known. You know, me and DJ Spoo are working on something, but I'm working with a lot of guys. And some of the labels overseas, we're planning on stuff. If it wasn't for this COVID, I think all of these things would be happening at a much more rapid pace. But I appreciate the laid backness. It gives me time to express my creativity.
Dude.
Put all myself.
Well, I wish we had more time. The producer just before you get onto the ones and twos, my man, please just give us your booking details and where people can find you on your socials, dude.
Tekniq SA on all my social media platforms.
That's Instagram, Twitter,
Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Right, yeah. Then for bookings, where do we email? Who do we email?
Bookings at tekniqsa.com.
Bookings at Tekniq SA.
Bookings at tekniqsa.com, or you can go through my label, which is abstractmoodmusic@gmail.com.
All right, what should we expect in your set, brother?
Libra.
All right, man. To the world, you might be one, but to one, you might mean the world.
Thanks, my man.
Tekniq is out here hanging out on the Universal Underground. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel over here, Fat Cats Music. Just like that, it's a wrap. Universal Underground, welcome to it, man. Another epic jam session of the hottest house music podcast.